All right, have you guys heard about this new documentary that's coming up? It's called Hillary, and it's going to be about Hillary Clinton pretty much opening up about her time as the First Lady. I actually saw an interview that she did promoting this with the Hollywood Reporter, where she spoke about, literally opened up about everything from her husband's affair with Monica Lewinsky, and she actually said that the gutsiest thing she's ever done is deciding to stay in her marriage.
Ever?
The gutsiest decision she ever made, ever, was staying in her marriage. Hillary also goes on to say that she was confused by the judgment that she received from people when she decided to stay, how people were like, oh my gosh, specifically women who were attacking her for staying in her marriage. So ladies, what do you guys think about her getting judged for obviously something that Bill did, but ultimately a decision that she ended up making? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think about that a lot of time because I think that's a fear you always have when you get into a relationship. But you also have to understand, obviously, that there might be financial limitations if you leave. You might be staying for the kids. You might still be in love. And I think at the end of the day, women who do that are courageous and they are willing. I'm just not that bitch.
That was beautifully said. Because ultimately, everybody has free will.
Yes.
And I respect whatever people choose to do in their lives, but very similar to Jeannie.
And so I look up to them. I really do. No shade. I look up, I'm like, wow, what does that mean? How do you sleep knowing if he's out, he's really out where he's staying? How do you look at text the same? How do you not have those flashbacks of what it was like?
Well,
how do you not get obsessed with her?
Courageous?
It is, yes, because you have to have courage. I'm not saying it's not the other way either. It's also courageous to walk away, but it's courageous to try to give it a chance and rebuild your marriage, because there is a chance your marriage will be stronger after the infidelity if both people are committed to make those changes. It absolutely is.
Well, when we're talking about Bill and Hillary per se, I remember when this all went down. And she was asked shortly after, it was like a couple years, and she says, Bill and I started a conversation, and that conversation is not finished. And that really hit me because really what I felt what she was saying was that sometimes marriage is a marriage and it's also a business.
Boom.
It is also
for them.
I'm talking about Hillary.
For them specifically.
But I do want to say that this blaming of her staying with him, that's not the reason why I believe she lost the campaign. I believe she lost the campaign not because she stayed with him, but because she had a bad campaign.
But did she really lose?
Okay.
Well, we can talk about that. That's a whole nother conversation.
But I don't think that affected. I don't think that affected ultimately her not winning.
I don't think people weighed in her choice as a personal.
Well, some women did take that for. Some women were upset.
So much because I actually agree with you, Lonnie. I think
you do.
Yes, I do. Can you believe it?
Wow.
If I'm being frank, in the past, I would have been one of those women who would, judge her for staying, because if I think of my personal life, I could not do that. Trust is a huge factor in my marriage, and I feel like I would need a lot of prayer and a lot of therapy to get through that. But as I got older and I started meeting other couples, there are a lot of different marriages out there. Yeah. Some people are married for convenience. Some people have, like that partnership, like that business partnership. And I'm not the one that's married to him. So, okay, if you want to stay in that,
and
okay.
Remember, with that arrangement, you also can make new rules. We don't know if they have different rules. We don't know if they're staying together as a brand and maybe they have different, leniencies.
That's what I believe it to be. It seems like a business agreement. And the only reason why I say that is I think in a situation like this, when someone cheats on you, and not just cheats on you, but cheats on you publicly. I mean, we had details from cigars to Altoids. And I would be irate. Now, the reason why I would think that way is because I'm in love with my husband, so it's hard for me to...
Right. I got you.
And I think that when you are in love with someone and you have a romance marriage, the reaction is different because your emotions are involved. So you're going to go crazy.
It's a different type of betrayal.
It's a different, because your heart is in it. Versus if you're not really in love like that and it's a business agreement, you low-key unbothered. You feel indifferent.
Let's start there.